5. Deputy Clerk, would you please call the roll?
Commissioner Patan?
Here.
Commissioner Wade?
Here.
Commissioner Reed?
Present.
Commissioner Polk?
Yep.
Mayor Milovich Walters.
Present. Let's stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Next item is approval of the regular council meeting minutes from January 13, 2025. If there are no changes or corrections, I'd entertain a motion to approve.
So moved, Mayor.
Second.
Hearing a motion and second, Deputy Clerk, would you please call the roll?
Commissioner Patan?
Yes.
Commissioner Wade?
Yes.
Commissioner Reed?
Yes.
Commissioner Polk?
Yep.
Mayor Milovich Walters.
Yes. Now, moving on to the fun stuff, recognition, proclamations, appointments, and presentations. The first one is regarding our Community Emergency Response Team, or CERT, and the President's Volunteer Service Awards. So I'm going to just read what the President's Volunteer Service Award is. America has a long and proud tradition of volunteer service. The President's Volunteer Service Award recognizes the valuable contributions volunteers make in our communities and encourages more people to serve. The award honors this American tradition and thanks those who inspire others to engage in volunteer service, demonstrated commitment, and example. The award recognizes individuals, families, and groups who achieve a certain number of service hours within a 12-month period. And it is my honor with Commissioner Polk tonight to honor 3 of our CERT team members, and they are Cynthia Chibi with 108 hours, Joanne Spiridakos with 112 hours, and Lisa Petrelli with 108 hours. I'd like to invite them up so we can present them with some awards, but thank you for your service. Thank you so much for the time that you guys put in. There we go. Oh my gosh. Thank you so much. Rick, can you take a picture so we can make sure that we post this about our wonderful volunteers and the time they put in. Hey, Bill. And that is our community emergency response leader for Cook County. And is Frank here tonight? There he is. For supporting all this. For getting involved and bringing other people to get involved too. So. Thank you. We appreciate everything that you've done. Thank you again. Thank you.
So, as Commissioner of Public Health and Safety, I also have the privilege and honor and responsibility of being police commissioner in Forest Park. And we had a rather extraordinary event that occurred in the park a couple months ago. And I wanted to take a moment or two and just recognize some of the people who were responsible for responding to the event and the ultimate successful outcome of it. So, Investigator Morano, Sergeant Chibi, Officer Castellanes, Officer Van Howe, Cohen, chances that I pronounce your last name right. Is it Fire P? Kaczynski? And Brian Hancock, who's here? So you guys can come forward, please. You gotta come forward. actually transpired over the course of a very full day, and I'm going to truncate it rather briefly, okay? But everybody here standing in front of you except me played a vital role in taking care of this issue. So on 12/17, the 17th of December, in 24, we had a request to meet with the Oak Lawn Police Department Patrol and Investigations at a home in the 4800 block of Wick in Oak Lawn regarding a carjacking that took place earlier in the day in Palos Park. So rather than go through 10 hours worth of discussion, I'm going to tell you that I'd like to salute the exceptional police work by Sergeant Ross Cheevy, Investigator Michelle Morano, Officer Bob Katsianis, Officer Cohen, whose last name I still can't pronounce, Officer James Van Howe, and Officer Brian Adcock. They worked as an investigative team to gather intelligence, utilize technological expertise, and coordinate a multi-jurisdictional team after the report of this armed carjacking was reported. And I'd also be remiss if I didn't include the Worth, Oak Lawn, Chicago Ridge, Palos Heights Police Departments, and the Cook County Sheriff Police Departments, along with their community safety team, who all provide critical assistance in coordinating in this investigation with the Palos Park Police Department, which resulted, I believe, with the arrest and charging of aggravated kidnapping, 2 counts of aggravated carjacking and armed robbery for the offender, whose name I'm not going to say. So one of the cool things about being the police commissioner is I get to see the results of all the hard work that's put in by the team over a course of a period of time. And I know that there's been discussions in the park about the fact that, we generally only have 3 officers that are patrolling at any one period of time. But I can tell you that they're surrounded by a group of hardworking and dedicated awesome other officers who are available to us anytime we need them in order to be able to take care of an investigation and a subsequent arrest like this one. So, yes, we like seeing our patrol people out in the community doing patrol, but while they're doing patrol, there's a number of people that are back here at home who are working to try and move through citizen complaints and solving issues such as this. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for your hard service. And again, once again, I'd like to offer my sincere congratulations and a job well freaking done.
That's right.
Bar that they will put on, I imagine, some part of the uniform or something, correct? So here's your recognition and yours. And yours. Thank you very, very much for working so hard.
Thank you, guys. Chief Miller, anything you want to add?
You did a great job. You should thank you.
Take care. Thanks, team.
Thank you for keeping us safe.
Well, that's definitely a way to start a meeting, right? Thank you to everyone who came to support our officers and our CERT team people. Really appreciate everything that you guys do.
You can stay while we spend your money.
Well, we do not have any hearings tonight, so while everyone's heading out, I'm going to just go through the consent agenda. Maybe. All items on the consent agenda are routine or have been brought forward at the direction of the Board of Commissioners and will be enacted with one motion. If discussion is desired, that item will be removed from the consent agenda and considered separately. Item A, to adopt ordinance 2025-01 titled an ordinance abating taxes levied the Village of Palos Park, Cook County, Illinois. The ordinance informs the Cook County Clerk's Office not to levy property taxes for the tax levy year 2024 relating to the payment of principal and interest due on the General Obligation Refunding Bonds Series 2021A and General Obligation Bonds Series 2022A collectible in calendar year 2025. Item B, to approve payment of invoices on warrant lists dated January 27, 2025, in the amount of $99,962.61. And that is it on the consent agenda. Do I have a motion to approve it?
So moved.
Second.
Hearing a motion and a second, Deputy Clerk, would you please call the roll?
Commissioner Patan,
Yes.
Commissioner Wade,
Yes.
Commissioner Reed,
Yes.
Commissioner Polk, Mayor Milovich Walters.
Yes. If there are no items of old business, we'll move on to Board, Commission, and Committee recommendations. And let's see, is this you,
Yeah.
Commissioner Wade?
Yeah. Thanks, Mayor. I just have one thing for the council's consideration. Agenda matter ordinance 2025-02, also known as ZBA case 2025-01, the first one of the year. An application has been filed requesting variations from the requirements of Chapter 1268, Spot 02E front yards and Chapter 1268, Spot 02G rear yards to permit the construction of an addition to an existing residence where the required front yard setback is 65, Spot 54 feet. The applicant is proposing a front yard setback of 27, Spot 75 feet. And where the required rear yard setback is 50 feet, the applicant is proposing 41, Spot 1 feet. The subject property is commonly known as 12441 Elm Street in Palos Park. A little background, the subject property consists of a single substandard parcel, roughly about half an acre, zoned R1A. The existing home is non-conforming as it encroaches into the required front setback. The applicant is requesting to construct an attached garage connected to the home by a breezeway, a carport, and a new 3 seasons room. The property is unique in that it required front and rear setbacks overlap. Because of this, not only is the existing house non-conforming, but it is impossible for any addition to the home to comply with code. This is slightly familiar because back in 2022, the Village Council approved front, rear, and side yard variances for the property regarding a potential addition to the north side of the home. The property owner did not pursue construction at the time, and the variances that had been approved had expired. The current the current request is for an addition to the south side of the home. This modification eliminates the need for a side yard variance. Variances are still needed as the front and rear setbacks overlap and the 2022 variance is expired. Do we have any questions?
No.
Pretty straightforward. If no questions, this was also heard by the Zoning Board of Appeals. They held a public hearing on January 8th, and they voted 4-0, with 3 being absent in favor of this request. So with no questions, I will move to approve ordinance 2025-02 and approve an ordinance approving certain front yard and rear yard setback variations commonly at 12441 Elm Street.
Second.
Okay, hearing motion and a second. Before we take the roll, I just wanted to point out, which I think you said, but just to make it clear, the front yard setback, the new garage actually lines up with the existing house. So the setback is exactly with the non-conforming setback that is existing. So it'll look good from the street side. If anybody else have anything? If not, would you please call the roll?
Commissioner Wade,
Yes.
Commissioner Patan,
Yes.
Commissioner Reed,
It's been a long time coming. Congratulations and emphatic yes.
Commissioner Polk,
Exactly the same, yes.
Mayor Milovich Walters.
Yes, yes, yes. Thank you. Moving on to information and updates, Public Works, Streets, and Recreation Report. Commissioner Patan.
Thank you, Mayor. This evening, I have one agenda item for the council's consideration under Public Works and Streets. And that agenda matter is to approve design engineering for the village water main relocations in conjunction with the new IDOT box culverts carrying Mill Creek under 123rd Street. The Illinois Department of Transportation, IDOT, will be reconstructing two box culverts that carry Mill Creek under 123rd Street, just west of 93rd Street, and just west of Elm Street, starting this spring. This reconstruction will cause 123rd Street to be closed to traffic in this area for approximately 6 months. Due to the changing size and depth of the new culverts, the village will have to relocate their water main at each location. This relocation will be at the cost of the village and is part of a requirement in all IDOT permits for utility work in IDOT right-of-ways. So Hancock Engineering has been working with the village to get preliminary plans approved. The project will go out to bid in March of this year, of 2025, and the work will be done this year once the road is closed. The village will save money by doing the work once the closure takes place by not having to restore the pavement. The Hancock proposal includes preparation of the construction plans, specifications, bidding documents, assistance in acquiring the IEPA permit, and coordination with IDOT for the work. The proposal is a lump sum of $30,180 budgeted in the water fund. So staff recommends us doing this, and I am seeking a motion. So if there's no questions or discussion, I move to approve the proposal from Hancock Engineering in the amount of $30,180 to complete all work necessary to bid the two village water main relocations as part of the IDOT Mill Creek Culvert Project.
I'll second that.
Hearing a motion second, Deputy Clerk, would you please call the roll?
Commissioner Patan,
Yes.
Commissioner Wade,
Yes.
Commissioner Reed,
Yes.
Commissioner Polk,
Yes.
Mayor Milovich Walters.
Yes.
And just some other news under Public Works and Streets. You can go to our website. You'll see that the 2025 wood chip delivery list is available. So go on and residents can sign up for that delivery. Also, branch chipping dates for 2025 have been scheduled, so take a look. That's my report, Mayor and Council, for Public Works and Streets. Moving on to recreation, the biggest news, obviously, is our Chili in the Park. It's Saturday, February 8th. So again, look on our website for further details or call the rec center. Our senior club is Monday, February 10th. The spring guide is available. It's online and ready for you to sign up for wonderful things that our staff has scheduled. Doggy Dash also, even though it's in May, you can sign up for Doggy Dash, as well as the April 5th Brunch with the Bunny is also available for sign up. So yeah, get your name and get ready to run and get ready to eat and hunt for eggs. Thank you, Mayor. That concludes my reports.
Thank you, Commissioner Patan, and everyone better put that chili in the park on their calendar because it's the day before Super Bowl, which I know you'll be talking about. And you can learn how to maybe get some tips on your
There you go.
chili that you're going to make for Super Bowl, and then you can put it on your nachos, you can put it on your hot dog. I don't know. I think you should attend. So, all right, moving on That would be Building and Public Property Report. Commissioner Wade.
Thank you, Mayor. Real quick, for my report, the construction conduct and work hours. We all have a role in protecting, maintaining, and improving our environment. Construction conduct means being a good neighbor. Village Code Chapters 1460, 652, and 480 define appropriate conduct on construction sites. Please review codes online or get a copy at the Capture Center. The goal is to keep undesirable impacts to a minimum. Respect for neighbors, safety, and cleanliness will lead to a successful construction project. Contractor work hours are Monday through Friday, 7 a.m. to 8 p.m., or dusk if earlier, and Saturday, 7 a.m. to 5 p.m., or dusk if earlier, and not on the holidays, New Year's, Memorial Day, Independence Day, Labor Day, Thanksgiving, and Christmas. Homeowners may do construction Monday through Saturday, 7 a.m. to 9 p.m., or dusk if earlier, and Sundays and holidays, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. Please contact the village if you notice anyone doing any work outside of business hours. In the permit department, the building department processed 3 permits from January 8th to January 21st, resulting in $560 in permit fees, bringing our fiscal year to date to $211,411. And that concludes my report. I do have one other thing for the council's consideration. Another code update, but separate from the zoning code that we're currently doing. Agreement with HR Green regarding building code update review. Background here. Recently, the state of Illinois enacted Public Act 103-0510 regarding building codes. One specific provision requires that structural design review may not be less stringent than a baseline building code. Examples of structural design requirements involve snow loads, wind loads, soil loads, and hydrostatic pressure, etc. For all the hydrostatics out there, yes. The act defines the baseline building code as codes published by the Internal Code Council, ICC, which include the International Building Code, IBC, and International Existing Building Code, IEBC, and International Residential Code, IRC, within the last 9 years. The village's adopted ICC codes are from 2012, so it is time to do a little bit of updating there. Certain structural design regulations, such as a basis for wind speed, have increased since the 2012 codes. The village and our building plan review consultant, HR Green, will enforce the more stringent requirements as per the new state law. However, to be clearer to design professionals and builders, and to better align with the codes adopted by other area municipalities, it would be beneficial to update our ICC codes as well as our National Electrical Code at this time. The village is seeking to begin the process of updating its ICC and NEC building codes by entering into an agreement with our building code plan review consultant, HR Green. If the agreement is approved, HR Green will compare the village's 2012 codes currently adopted with proposed new codes, the 2021 ICC and the 2020 NEC. This would involve identifying primary differences and providing recommendations for amendments to these codes for consideration and approval by the village council consistent with the current policies, plans, and trends of the general construction industries. Village of Palos Park standards and consistency with other communities in the surrounding area. HR Green would make recommendations to minimize code contradictions and identify any potential controversial provisions. The village would be billed for time and material for this work as per the agreement not to exceed $10,000. Where's that money coming from? For the fiscal year 2025, the village has budgeted a considerably greater amount for a planning study as part of an RTA grant, which the village was not awarded. As such, there are funds available in the current budget for this work. New ICC and NEC code adoption would bring the village codes to a more current standard and would be good for approximately 8 to 10 years. Any questions? seems like a thing. we
Gotta
have-
do it to
Yeah,
keep
we have
everyone
to do.
safe.
Yeah. Without any questions, I move to approve Resolution 2025-R-01, a resolution approving and authorizing the execution of a simple scope short form agreement with HR Green relative to building code update review.
Second.
Hearing a motion and second, if there's no further discussion, Deputy Clerk, would you please call the roll?
Commissioner Patan,
Yes.
Commissioner Wade,
Yes.
Commissioner Patan,
Yes.
Commissioner Reed,
Yes.
Commissioner Polk, Mayor Milovich Walters.
Yes.
And that concludes my report. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Wade. Moving on to Public Health and Safety Report, Commissioner Polk.
Thank you, Mayor Milovich Walters. We'll start with the police activity report from the 13th of January to the 26th of January, the year of our Lord 2025. 2,232 calls for service, 28 additional citizen assist calls, 11 case reports, and unfortunately 6 accident reports. Arrested 2 adults. Fortunately, no juveniles. Did impound a vehicle. 49 traffic stops, an additional 18 moving violations, 12 adjudication tickets, and 25 speeding tickets. So that is what the Palos Park Police Department has been up to for the last couple of weeks. And then I have a couple of announcements. As advertised, we are rolling up into Super Bowl weekend in 2 weeks. And Super Bowl weekend is historically a deadly period for impaired driving. We'd ask that as you're planning your weekend, not only for your own safety and for others, but to avoid those dreaded penalties, be careful about how you party and whether you decide to then go out and drive after all of that sort of stuff. Again, Palos Park Police Department will be offering their services during Super Bowl Sunday. If you've had too much to drink and you're interested in getting home and you're living in Palos Park, you can contact us and we'll make sure you get home safely. So please be careful and considerate. As we get into the winter months, we'd like to emphasize that the Palos Park Police You're Not Alone program is still running around. We'd love visiting some of our older residents or residents who aren't able to get out very much, just to see how things are going and whether or not there's anything we can do in order to be able to help them. So make sure that your home is secure, make sure your utilities are working okay, and particularly in this time of the year, not being victimized by someone, either by a scam or a ruse. Anyone who's a Palos Park senior who wants to participate in the program, give Chief Miller a call at 708-671-3770 or drop him an email at jmiller@palospark.org. We're still seeing ruse burglaries out there. Over the last couple of weeks, we've seen scams where someone came to tell a resident that there was a fence being installed on a neighbor's property and that they, quote, needed to verify the resident's property lines, saying that there was a problem with the water next door and now their water needs to be checked, offering to perform landscaping, posing as a village employee or an employee of the utility company. All of these ruses are generally designed to get somebody who doesn't belong there inside of your house without your supervision. If you ever have any questions about someone posing as an employee, give us a call. We generally aren't sending employees out at 2 o'clock on a Sunday morning, but the bottom line is we will be happy to identify anybody who's working on behalf of the village who's knocking on your door. We've also seen people knocking on a door telling residents that a family member asked them to come by and do some work. So again, be suspicious of strangers that arrive uninvited. Ask for identification and a phone number that can be called for verification. And again, we're happy with the village to help with that particular verification. So just be mindful. Anybody knocking on your door to do work is not likely the person you want to be doing it. I'd also like to mention, excuse me, we'll be participating again in the law enforcement torch run polar plunge for Special Olympics. Special Olympics is a cause that the Palos Park Police Department has supported over the years and will continue to support. Take a look at our Facebook page. It has information about either contributing or participating in the torch run for Special Olympics, which is happening relatively quickly over the next month or so. So again, Polar Plunge supporting Special Olympics. I did want to mention something because it's come up a couple of times and it sort of came up in association with the discussion about what needs to be done in order to be able to move the water main relocations, and that's the closure of 123rd. So we know that 123rd has to close. We know that 123rd, when it closes, will be closed for at least 6 months, is what we're told. What we don't know is when it's going to happen. And what we're being told is it's contingent on 131st getting finished. Now, what finished means seems to be subject to some sort of debate, but at least open past Southwest Highway. And as far as we know, that completion date, while it's been suggested, has not been finalized by any stretch of the imagination. Unless, Mike, you know something that I don't know. But in the bottom line is that the IDOT plan is to not have 131st and 123rd closed at the same time. So we're waiting to hear when 131st might be reopened, or at least reopened to the point where IDOT is considering moving on with their closure of 123rd. And the 123rd closure is likely to be somewhere in the vicinity of 6 months. So that's all I know. And when we know more, it'll come out in the village newsletter, and it'll certainly be on the Palos Park PD Facebook page as well, social media. Chief Miller, anything you care to add?
Nothing, Commissioner, other than your last time. Palos Fire District obviously is intricately involved in that because it does impact the movement.
123rd between what?
It's
Well, that seems to be subject to some debate as well. West
west of here
of
and.
here. How's that?
Yeah,
That's all they say? Mhm.
Well, no, it's
up to,
it's east of LaGrange.
yeah,
Oh, got it.
yeah.
And west of here, but where the west actually starts is subject to some discussion.
It's going to be close to where the creek is.
West of 93rd,
Yeah,
where that culvert crosses 123rd, west of 93rd. There's going to be enough room on the other side of that for the project to start. And then it's going to be closed just east of Elm. That other culvert goes under 123rd, Street, just off of Elm Street. So that whole section will be closed. Obviously, you'll have people who live there and have driveways there, will have access to driveways. There's going to be times when the village people, words of police can get through, but it's going to be closed to through traffic.
I mean, it's just an inconvenient short stretch, but it'll be for 6 months.
Inconvenient nonetheless.
So,
Yes, ma'am.
Just through traffic to move residents?
We'll figure something out. We don't know because we're not 100% certain what actually is being closed. No one will be denied access to your home.
yeah, if you live right there, you'll be able to get in and out. That's for sure.
Or I have an extra bedroom. I'm sorry, it's as nebulous as it is, but we're just trying to give you guys a heads up. You know now exactly what we know, which ain't much.
Well, another thought that comes to my mind, as people are trying to avoid and
Yes.
survey, pulling out and making a left on
Yes.
Southwest Highway from 124th or 126th is really,
Suboptimal.
and so I don't know if there's any temporary means that could be done there to provide safety for all.
All of this will be revealed. That's all I
Is
got.
that all you have today?
That's all I got.
Okay, all right. Accounts and finances. Commissioner Reed. Anything?
I don't think I want to follow that. Madam Finance Director, do you have anything? Okay, we have nothing.
Excellent, thank you. I do not have a report. Deputy Clerk, do you have a report?
I do not, Mayor. Thank you.
Manager Boehm, do you have a report? Excellent. I don't even have any announcements, so that's just, moving things right along. Citizens and visitors comment period. If anybody would like to approach the council, please feel free at this time. Having no takers, I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
Hearing a motion and a second, Deputy Clerk, would you please call the roll?
Commissioner Patan,
Yes.
Commissioner Wade,
Yes.
Commissioner Reed,
Yes.
Commissioner Polk, Mayor Milovich Walters.
Yes, thank you. Good evening and see you at Chili in the Park.
Come early if you want to eat chili.